We call it the Daily Deal. So silver, right? Silver proof sets. Well, they launched those a little bit later now. It's the middle of the year, July, August, etc. And in the components now, we're seeing the similar stuff. The Women Making History Quarter program is out there, so you get the 5 quarters. But the 2 that are the elusive are the dime and the half, because they only come in that big proof set. However, the big downer on all of this is the fact that the government raised the price on the silver proof set by 20%. They're up to $130 on the set, which means fewer and fewer are being directed. Well, tonight we have the 70s. In the dime and in the half dollar. Now the quarters are sold separately, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the conversation, earlier in the year. So the silver quarters have been out there for over 6 months. And as a result, if you wanted to buy the silver quarter set, which is what a lot of people do, we sell lots of them here, then that's one way to get it. So when it comes time to push out the full proof set, which is the cent, the nickel, silver dime, the quarters again, and then this half dollar, and then the golden dollar, we have an opportunity to look at only a couple of coins that are not already covered earlier this year. And that is the perplexing scenario, especially with the raising of the price across the board on the silver proof sets, which means now the break up of that big silver proof set gets changed over the only few coins that are left, and we're seeing a lot of pressure with this. So let's talk about the silver proof set for a minute if we can. In 2019, the US Mint changed a lot of stuff. They went on the proof set side from 0.900 fine US coin silver, the way it's been going back to the Stone Ages, so to speak, and they went to pure silver, 0.999 fine silver proof sets. So the San Francisco dimes, the San Francisco quarters, and the San Francisco Kennedy half dollar are all silver, and as it references on the label, the special label NGC made for us, it is 0.999 silver, the rarest of the year. Now, on the back side, the Kennedy itself is something unique to talk about. We stopped making Kennedy half dollars for circulation in the year 2001. So for the last 22 years, the US Mint has been making 1.5 million P's and 1.5 million D's, plus the proofs for collectors only. 20 years, and it's over 1 million people on this particular project. So here is the numbers, however, and the numbers inside of what's going on today explains a lot. When they brought out silver, pure silver, 2019 as I referenced, there were 16,406 Kennedys in 70, which is a small number considering how many proof sets they made. The dime was 9,543, big sleeper. For the value, big sleeper. Then you go to the second year, which is 2020, and it drops to 6,644 on the Kennedy and 3,991, right, on the dime, the silver dime. It drops even further in 2020, right? It drops even further in 2021. But the big drop in 2021 was what? It's when the government put the silver proof set over $100 for the set by itself, which means fewer and fewer sets now are being broken up. And the one thing we have to remember is this whole industry, all collectible industries, are built on supply and demand. And the reason why you're seeing these silver Kennedys at close to $200 today is because the supply doesn't support the demand for the finest, the rarest of all the Kennedys in the same exact scenarios for the dimes. So let's think about this, right? As of right now, 30 days after release, and we look at this year over last year, all right? We are about 63% of the global number of all of last year's proof set mintage, which is kind of standard, which also means we're about the same in 70 supply. Because remember, all the APPs in the bulk are distributed before. So they're already in the system and done. Here are some scary numbers to think about. Last year we thought the numbers were, wow, huh? There's only 1,410 Kennedys from last year and only 1,352 dimes from last year. Which is why there are a couple $100 on the Kennedy, and we're looking at $69, $79, $89 on the dime. The key word here for both of them, when you can find it. So now the 2023s are out. The continuation goes on. Right now, both of these have a population of less than 400. So if we're less than 400 of them right now known, and we're already 60% of the proof sets sold in, this isn't going to get to 1,000 this year. If you go back to 2012, remember the silver proof set that just lit up the marketplace? 396,000, under 400 for the first time. That silver Kennedy, which is way over 1,000 known, is multi-hundreds. We're talking 350 to 470. This is going to be significantly rarer, period. Now, the phones are very busy right now, thank you. avccoins.com is the alternative order process, whether it's your smartphone, your laptop. Whenever you go throughout the show tonight, you see that pop up. It's just the control booth reminding me to remind you, or to remind you as well, that the phones are busy. You can always order online. We will let you know when we're close to a sellout, so that way you're not going to let it sit there and then watch for another hour and then you can't check out because it gets stuck. We don't want anybody getting stuck. We don't want to turn down a sale. It's pretty simple and pretty clean. But tonight, they're finally here. Now, the label you're looking at, it's our exclusive label with NGC. It's the silver bar label. When they brought out the silver proof sets in 2019, they introduced this label, and it's been what has been used on all the silver proofs out of the proof set from that point forward. It's a beautiful label, clean, simple, and it really hones in. There's no question you're looking at this one, is this clad or not? It says 0.999 silver, and the bars are right there. Perfect, right? So let's just, again, look at the last couple of years. When they brought out silver, we were hot. 15,000, 18,000 coins in 70. But out of 400,000, a tiny number. Proof sets aren't being broken up like they used to. The breaks aren't as good. And the grading's not as good. It's a softer metal now. And that's what nobody wants to talk about, right? 0.999, and they're not individually capsulated. They're put into a lens, where Silver Eagles and others are put in the capsules, which protects them directly, individually. These are not protected individually. And as a result, creates a little bit of that stuff. Guys, we got to put a 1-minute clock up. Phones are very busy. Thank you all for joining us on this. As I referenced earlier, they're finally here. The silver Kennedys, the silver Roosevelts, basically the non-quarters out of the silver proof set. And we're looking at silly numbers right now. Our competition, $189, $199 on the Kennedy half dollar. We're looking at $59, $69, $79. They're all over the place on the dime because nobody knows what to do with it. It is way rarer than anything else in the silver proof set, in the silver side. And it's affordable. I mean, if a Silver Eagle had a mintage population of under 1,000, where would that coin be priced today? And it's just a question. We all know that the 95W with less than 1,000 is a $30,000 coin. How crazy is that to think? So tonight they're here, they're in stock, they're ready to go. Lowest prices we've seen anywhere, $129.95 and $39.95 respectively, the half dollar and the dime in 70, perfect. And again, the thing to remember is go back and look later this year how tiny these population numbers are. It's good to get in on a good thing. And that's why we call this segment the Daily Deal.